Hello, and welcome to episode number 336 of the TEW 28 Challenge Run. It is going to be SmackDown, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre special episode. I'm recording this actually on February 14th in real life, but in the game we're like 3 days past it. It's fine. Anyway, tonight we have a SmackDown Women's Championship. After her shocking victory over Bayley last week, Thea Hale gets her shot at the title against Bayley. We also have Kevin Owens taking on the Paragon's Bobby Roode. And we have another match, which is, I think it's a tag match. I can't remember the other match. I know we have a Fatal 4-Way main event between Kairi Sane, Utami Hayashishita, Shotzi Blackheart, and Ruby Riott to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's title at No Way Out. But that wasn't pre-announced. So I don't know what the other match I'm thinking of is. But we do also have some Valentine's Day special segments. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Cody opens the show alongside Dustin. And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to stand here and give you the usual American nightmare spiel about how WrestleMania last week I made my decision to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship, but quite frankly, I've had other things on my mind this week. You see, Seth Rollins, he's stooped to many, many lows over the past year or so, from stomping my head into the canvas at SummerSlam out of pure jealousy, to trying to run me over and end my career again out of pure jealousy, to now ordering that Solo Sikoa to put his hands on my wife. I'm sure those of you out there, married, in relationships, you know how that feels. You know you spent your Valentine's Day with your one true special person. I had to spend mine by a hospital bed because a psychopath decided it would be a great idea to send a message to me by having someone put his hands on my wife. Now, Seth, I'm a man, you're a man, we all know how that feels, so I didn't come out here to talk anymore. I came out here for action. I came out here to your show to fight you. And and he's on the Titantron. He goes, Cody, come on, look, man, listen. Okay, good, like, how you doing there? You're on my show, but I hate to break the bad news to you. I'm not there tonight. I've got better things to do than to show up at Charleston, this close to No Way Out, where I get the chance to end your dream once again. Cody, you'd think that after SummerSlam you'd be more cautious about securing your destiny, as you call it. But you're not. You've once again fallen right into my hands. Once again, family turmoil reigns supreme. And Seth freaking Rollins is going to stomp your head into the mount, and your little brother too. And I'll be taking the night off at WrestleMania while you look up, wondering where it all went wrong. And Cody's like, well, since you're too much of a coward to show up on your own show, well, I came here for a fight, and I'm not leaving without a fight. Out comes Grayson Waller, and he goes, Cody lad, like, listen here, okay? First of all, welcome to SmackDown, mate. This ain't Seth Rollins' show, like you called it. You said your show when you talk about Seth Rollins. Nah, lad, it's not Seth Rollins' show. This is Grayson Waller's show, you know? And you're going to come over to my show and start giving it the big un in front of me? I don't think so, lad. Now, quite frankly, you won that Royal Rumble only because Grayson Waller wasn't in it. So if I would have been in that Royal Rumble, Cody, you wouldn't be going to WrestleMania. And after next Saturday night, Sunday night, whenever it is, who cares? Grayson Waller's on the pay-per-view, so you didn't even need to bother tuning in. After that, the opportunity to become the WWE Champion at WrestleMania will open up once again. And that sounds like a great spot for Grayson Waller. And Cody goes, so, this is what you've chosen to do, huh? You've seen the mood that I'm in here tonight. You've seen that I've came here for a fight. And this is what you've chosen to do. Grayson Waller, I understand you're trying to make a name for yourself here on SmackDown. Back in my day, I'd done the exact same thing that you're doing right now. But you've just picked a fight you can't win. And then out comes the referee, and the first match is Grayson Waller against Cody. Gets a 78. Obviously, Cody wins with a Crossroads in 11:54. Sure. 68 for Waller. That's actually pretty good for him. And an 87 for the American Nightmare. Couldn't get his hands on Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins isn't here tonight. But did end up having a match and winning. So, all is good. Cody's sort of floating between both shows right now. Which is fine because he is a Raw guy. But yeah. You know the deal. Don't know why I'm explaining it to you. We then get a video earlier in the day, probably Tuesday exactly, because that is obviously Valentine's Day, of Morgan and Hams showing up to, this new restaurant. Fallon greets them at the door. She goes, so you actually showed up then? And Morgan's like, yeah, got nothing else to do. We're not exactly, firing off guys to spend it today with. Fallon goes, that's great. So, you know Otis, okay? And she's like, yes, I know Otis, yes. Goes, great. He could be so happy you showed up. And Hammy. She looks at Fallon. She goes, I've got just the guy for you. They're both waiting inside, okay? And then Fallon walks in. There's a guy at the front. He's like, name please. She's like, yeah, I'll be under Henley, Fallon. She's like, oh, great. The 6-seater over there. And they take it to the table. They sit all three girls on one side of the table. And there, opposite Morgan is Otis. Opposite Hams is Brooks Jensen. And nobody is opposite Fallon. And the Fallon's like, Hammy, this is Brooks. He's really nervous about tonight, This is his first date in about 22 years. So be kind to him. And Hams just sort of glares at him. And then he goes, oh, hi. She goes, hello, are we friends? And Brooks is like, I guess we can start like that, yeah. And then Fallon sits next to Morgan, and she's like, so, who'd you get for yourself? And then she's like, I knew I forgot something. God, well, at least you two have fun, huh? We then cut backstage to Kayla. Her guest is Cesaro, who made his return last week on SmackDown. And she says, Cesaro, last week you took on Carmelo Hayes in one of the greatest matches in the history of SmackDown, if I do say so myself. Got a 96 rating, she'd say. Cesaro's like, what the fuck does that mean? She says, so, what's next for you? What brought you back? And Cesaro goes, I've done a lot of things here in my career. And quite frankly, just hearing Melo Hayes and The Miz last week talk about someone that I respect, like Daniel Bryan, like that didn't sit right with me. So I had to go out there and I had to teach them a piece of my mind. Of course, Carmelo Hayes won, because he's a talented guy. But, Kayla, I'll be remiss if I just sat back and let someone talk about someone that I respect like that. And then Brian walks into frame. And he goes, look, I missed last week, but it's nice to know you've got my back. We go way back 20 odd years. You've always been someone I've considered a friend. So tonight, why don't me and you team up? Find any old tag team on this roster that fancies stepping into the ring with us. And we'll see what we can do. And then in walks Keith Lee. And he goes, quite an unexpected arrival and quite a perfect request at such a perfect time, Mr. Bryan. You see, myself and Mr. Braun Breaker here are looking for a good test after our recent kerfuffle, shall we say, against a certain Mr. Dr. Shelby. I believe you may know him. So, we want to see the great team that he made, yourself and Kane. If he can have that effect on the Limit Breakers here tonight, and if you're looking for a tag team who's looking for that opportunity here tonight, look no further. And Bryan and Cesaro are like, great, sounds like a match. And then they all just shake hands because they're all babyface and respectful. So yeah, that's a big tag match they want tonight. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro against Keith Lee and Braun Breaker. 83. This match actually kind of over-delivered given the in-ring performances. But it is Bobby Roode of the Paragon picking up the victory over Kevin Owens in 1631. Because I imagine the Fritz brothers are out there, Adam Cole's out there, and like, it's just numbers against Kevin. So in the end, he can't quite fight them all off, and then Bobby Roode plants him with the glorious DDT to pick up the, I guess you could say, upset win. Kev has been away for a bit, so it's not really that upsetting. But hey-ho, 77 for Owens, 72 for Bobby Roode. And then that numbers game is just harped on after the match when Adam Cole gets into the ring and he orders the Fritz to hit their tag team finisher on Kev. And then Bobby Roode hits another glorious DDT, and then Adam Cole hits the last shot. So Owens is left laying, and Adam Cole, he's got friends now, you know? He's got people that he can boss around. I mean, be friends with. While Kevin Owens, he still has nothing. He's still feeling all those effects of all those years of being a backstabbing little prick. We then cut to Adam Pearce's office, and it's the 4 women that I mentioned earlier on. I realised I probably wasn't supposed to say that early. But this is the segment where he's like, hey, we need a challenger for either Thea Hale or Bayley at No Way Out. You 4 can have a fatal 4-way in tonight's main event to see who it's going to be. Speaking of Thea Hale, we then get a Chase U segment of them gassing her up. And Andre Chase is like, tonight is a big night in the history of Andre Chase University because this, our rising pupil, Thea Hale, is going to become SmackDown Women's Champion. You know, the first championship to be brought to the halls of Chase U, no pressure field. And she's like, I'm so damn excited, Mr. Chase. I'm going to go up there, I'm going to kick her ass. And I'm going to bring that championship back. Chase U, Chase U, Chase U. And then the SmackDown Women's title match is coming up next. Because, yeah, it gets a 65. I knew it wasn't going to do great. Because Thea Hale is not popular. And, yeah. Bayley gets an 86, though, because they have good chemistry. But Thea comes to the ring, as Thea Hale would. And Bayley comes out, not as Bayley would. There's no Dakota, no Cora, just Bayley by herself. And she's looking a lot more, you know, serious this week. Because she got beat by Thea last week, so... Then the bell rings. Thea continues to, like, jog on the spot, like it will fire it up. She charges at Bayley, and Bayley just wipes her out of a clothesline. What we then get is what I've written down as Brock versus John Cena, but not as bad. Because it's Bayley and Thea Hale. But Bayley just beats the Pearson toys around with Thea for like 9 minutes. Before eventually putting the rose plant on her one final time. And then scoring the pin to retain the SmackDown Women's title in 9:19. 86 for Bayley, 28 for Thea. And yeah, I guess after last week, Bayley weren't fucking around here tonight. She's serious. Which is shown after the match, when she grabs a steel chair and continues to attack Thea with the chair. Like, countless shots of her on the floor, just onto her back. Chase U guys trying to fight her off. Haley Poole probably takes a chair shot as well. Maybe even Bodie. And Jimmy. That would be funny. But, yeah. And then eventually, you know, a bunch of referees and road agents have to pull Bayley off when she leaves with her belt. To a evil chorus of boos. Because everyone loves Chase U already, you know. We then cut back to the Fallon Henley DKE restaurant. And we get the camera. The camera starts on the empty chair opposite Fallon. Pans across to the right. Otis is there, like, imagine eating some shit out of his hands. Like, I don't know what he's got. What would be disgusting to eat out of your hands? I don't know, spaghetti. Some shit like that. And wiping it on his shirt and shit like that. And you got Brooks, who's just sitting there, like, staring across, looking at everybody, like, awkwardly sweating. Like, not really saying anything. And then the camera pans to see all three girls just sort of looking confused. And then Otis is like, oh, I've got to pump to the loo real quick. And Brooks goes, I think I'm going to go to, I think I'm going to follow him. And then Fallon's like, yes, okay, knock yourself out. And then the camera shot then changes to just the side with the girls on. Like, you can't see where the boy seats are. And Fallon's like, look, I'm sorry. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, I know this sucks. I know this isn't what you wanted. But I tried, you know. You've been through a lot with all that whole witchcraft bullshit. So I thought I'd try. And Bon goes, no, it's not your fault. It's just, you know, are you sure Brooks is the right guy for Hammy? And she's like, quite frankly, I don't know. And then we hear the sounds of, like, the chairs, the other side of the table being pulled up. And then three men taking a seat. And then all three of the girls just look across disgusted. Because there sat down is the lady killers. Zachary Ben-Shah's in the middle chewing his chewing gum, like, really obnoxiously loud. He's like, sup, babes? I hear you're looking for men. And Morgan's like, oh, no, you must have been misinformed. And he goes, listen here, babes. I imagine he, like, grabs her hands as well as he's talking and looking into her eyes. He goes, that Otis guy, you don't really like him. He's a slob. He's disgusting. He's vile. Us three here, we could show you all a real good time. And then Fallon's like, okay, ew. Like, you want to say Otis is disgusting, but then you're going to come over here and act like this? Okay, you're lucky Otis isn't here to beat your ass. And then Zachary Ben-Shah's like, you see, he's not here, so I think we're just gonna, you know, sit here for the rest of the night and have a great time. And the three girls are like, oh, for fuck's sake, these fucking guys. Speaking of obnoxious ladies men, Angel Garza is then in the ring with Dixie and Maria and Jojo. And he goes, the time of love is upon us. And I got, you know, plenty of Valentine's cards this year. Plenty of special gifts, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, kids, ask your mum. But now we're here. Angel Garza looking for his next love. Angel Garza looking out into the audience. He sees all beautiful women everywhere. And which one of you has what it takes to join my MILF manor? And I imagine there's like a MILF cam on the screen. the exact, like the kiss cam shit. Like it looks around the crowd for people. But it stops on women, and then Garza is like, oh no, she's not the one. And shit like that. And we then get a stop on a woman in the front row, and he goes, oh, stop. And then he gets outside the ring, and it's a woman there. We can't really see her face clearly, but I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. It will take a lot of fucky editing. But the woman is our good friend, Esther Sampson, I believe I called her. Elias's mum, who was a part of the cinematic match in Survivor Series. But it can't actually be, you know, hypothetically, if all of, you know, the Sampson family were the same guy, I couldn't have that person play this character. Because as Garza gets in the face of our good friend Esther Sampson, out comes Elias. Elias comes out, and he's like, Garza, Esther Sampson is a saint. You get your grubby hands off her right now. And he goes, relax. Can't you see? She's into this. And then Elias is like, no, she isn't. She's not even really that. Never mind. Anyway, why not just come down there and whoop your ass, and then we'll see what she really likes to see. And then Elias chases down the ramp, he tries to chase Garza off with the guitar. He starts swinging the guitar and shit. But then Garza gets into the ring and he takes shelter behind JoJo. So as Elias goes to swing the guitar and smash it over Garza's head, JoJo gets in the way, and then Elias has to stop himself. And then JoJo's like, sorry, I guess I signed up for this. And then Garza he kicks Elias in the testes, and then drops him with a wing clipper, and then puts a rose on his down body or something. So yes, this was my grand plan to get Elias back on television. Anyway, back to reality now. Bayley storms through the hallway with her SmackDown Women's title. Dakota has caught up to her, but she's sort of still looking skittish behind Bayley. And then Kayla catches up and she goes, Bayley, emphatic defense of your SmackDown Women's Championship tonight. And then Bayley just snatches the microphone. She goes, yeah, didn't see that coming, did you? I hear you all thought Bayley's lost it. You all thought Bayley was complacent as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Well, let me tell you something. Thea Hale, thank you. Thank you so much, because I was getting complacent. Because when you're the best like me, you can get away with not being at your best 100% of the time because you're still better than everybody else. But now, Bayley's operating on beast mode. Bayley's operating at 100%. So, to whoever wins that fatal 4-way tonight, to Candice, stay alert, because you thought my last SmackDown Women's title reign lasted a long time. You haven't seen nothing yet. Where is Candice today anyway, Kayla? And she goes, I don't know, I haven't seen her. She goes, oh really, because I saw you talking to her, earlier on tonight. You sure? And then Bayley sort of pins or corners Kayla. And then she's like, I heard her and Gargano, Johnny, were busy Tuesday night. So they said they were celebrating Valentine's today somewhere. Bayley goes, isn't that sweet? Would be a shame if someone was to ruin it. And then she walks off. And Kayla watches her leave. But Dakota is still standing around awkwardly, all still or skittish, looking around, snapping her head around, looking for something. And then Kayla goes, Dakota, and then she jumps, she's like, She's like, oh, it's you. Okay, what do you want? And then she's like, Bayley left, are you okay? She goes, yes, I'm fine, Kayla, why wouldn't I be okay, huh? I don't know, you seem weird, something's rattled you. She goes, no, I'm fine, okay, I'm fine. Why would you even insinuate such a thing, Kayla, huh? Of course, have a journalist, huh? And Dakota just walks off as well. And she goes, well, okay then. I will take an 84, because this had no storyline. Well, it did apparently. It had the tag title storyline attached, and the Carmelo Hayes, Daniel Bryan storyline. Sure, yeah, 84 is fine, whatever. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan defeat the Limit Breakers when Bryan pins Keith Lee with a running knee in 1830. 95 for Bryan, 93 for Cesaro, 78 for Keith, and a 74 for Braun. Yeah, and Bryan and Cesaro pick up the tag team victory here tonight. As for the Limit Breakers, maybe still have a little bit of ways to go, as of yet. We're then back at the restaurant with our good friends, the Lady Killers, and the DKE girls and Fallon. And imagine the men have just finished eating. And then one of the waitresses comes up and she takes the trays away. She's like, can I get you guys any dessert? And he goes, depends who's offering. He sort of winks at her. She goes, here's the bill. And just throws his bill down at him. And he goes, Noam Dar says, Zachary Benjahar, and he looks at the two boys. He's like, you see her, she wants me. And then he looks at the bill and his eyes sort of bug out his head and he goes, how much? Babe, sweetie pie, hon, there appears to be a mistake here. This bill has charged us for a lot. He goes, oh no, this was all the food that was ordered to this table today. And he goes, well, we didn't have that. And the camera pans, and Brooks and Otis are sort of like awkwardly standing around waiting for the lady killers to get up and give them their seats back. But Otis has like 5 plates of food, and he's like, oh. He goes, what? And then Zaki Benchahar gets in his face. He goes, how much are you to order and eat, you fat oaf? Huh? Because of this, you ruined this. You ruined my day. Huh? Luckily for you, I don't need these skanks that you're with. I can get anybody in here wants a piece of us, okay? So, why don't you take this flipping bill and pay for your own food, you big fat oaf? And then Otis goes, what'd you call me? And then Morgan and Hams have to get in the middle, and she's like, okay, no fighting, Why don't you three leave, and then we'll deal with the bill, okay? But most importantly, you three leave, okay? And then Brooks finally gets a backbone. He slammed his hat on the floor, and he goes, don't you call him fat? Huh? It's not his fault that, you guys are such assholes that no one wants to be with you, okay? So you gotta be out here looking to try and steal people and, impress and flash with these damn bills. So how about it? How about you come to SmackDown Friday night and me and Otis team up and whip your ass? And Zaki Benchahar goes, well, don't know when you're talking about me. That sounds like these guys' job. Then yeah, that's basically the announcement that later on tonight we will see Otis team of Brooks Jensen against Sid Cottrell and Gregor Ferguson of the Lady Killers. Because these were all taped on Tuesday, so that's why they'll suddenly be in the building, Out comes AJ. And she goes, so, about the Royal Rumble, I let you guys down. I lost. I've got no excuses. Bayley beat me fair and square. And there is a part of me that's a little proud of Bayley for being able to do something like that on her own. Like, I knew back in the day, Bayley was going to be great, and that she had the ability to do stuff like that on her own. But recently she sort of relied too heavily on, Dakota Kai and Cora Jade, and she needed to sort of cheat to get what she wanted, but now she beat me. And that could have been all I needed to see, because now I know where I stand. Now I know that maybe the business has evolved beyond the need for AJ Lee. Maybe I'd be best suited, staying at home and cheering my girls on. Maybe I'd best be suited, helping out the younger talent, doing stuff like that. Maybe I'll be best suited going away again. Now, there are 2 young girls that I want to bring out here, because my greatest gift to the professional wrestling industry was not my moments, my winning championships, my headlining WrestleMania, or taking part in WrestleMania. It was the fact that a generation of you grew up seeing me and believed that you could do this, believed that you could step into this ring and take championships and become a star and become the face of WWE. I did that. I opened those doors for you. And the next generation looking at me in the same way that I look like girls, like Trish Stratus, like Lita, like Chyna, that means a lot. And that is what brings me to these 2 girls. Out come Ashley Scott and Roxanne Perez, who are Sky Blue and, Roxanne Perez. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, these 2 young ladies have been killing it in NXT. Roxanne is a former NXT Women's Champion, And these girls, they looked up to me. They were my wrestling daughters, So, maybe now that I failed to capture the SmackDown Women's Championship, My best contribution will be to sit back and watch my daughters take my spot and just excel to the top of WWE. And the spirit of AJ Lee will live on inside them and all of you.
Welcome to the generation of Jade.
Out comes Cora, the Liberty Champion. She goes, Mom, you're making me cry. Like, first of all, okay, there wasn't just two, okay, there's three of us, okay, me, you were my idol too, AJ, that's why I'm out here. If this is your big goodbye speech, like you're trying to claim it is, then I need to be out here as well. I'm one of your girls. You know, remember? Isn't it weird how you brought these two out here and not me? Is it because I'm better than you now? Is it because, unlike these two, I grew up and I didn't look at you and go, oh my god, it's AJ. That's my favorite. I stan. Yes, queen. No. I'm a champion. You are not. I'm better than you. This business has surpassed the need for you, AJ. Now these two here, you know, we all grew up together. We all broke into the business together. We all got signed together. We got one stuck in NXT. Former NXT Women's Champion. Got another. Don't remember the last time I saw her on NXT. Then you got me, champion, SmackDown. On my way to WrestleMania. But there's one more stop on that road. And that's No Way Out. So how about it, Mom? If you think that you can't be the SmackDown Women's Champion anymore because this business has just passed you by, and you think your greatest contribution is to watch your children, your wrestling children, exceed to new heights, then let me, out of the kindness of my heart, end you at No Way Out. But if you beat me, you get this championship and you prove that you do still have what it takes to hang in this division. But if I win, I never want to see you wrestle for a championship ever again. Okay? Put up or shut up, Mom. And then Roxanne and Ashley just look at her, we'll discuss it. And Roxanne takes her mic and she goes, what the hell happened to you? Like, yeah, we both came into NXT together, you know? This was our dream together. You could come up here, become tag team champions, become Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, respectively, together. But the difference between, the reason why AJ is going to endorse us is because we didn't let the success get to our heads. Okay, this isn't the same Cora Jade that I broke into NXT with. I barely recognize this person. This is a Bayley puppet, is what this is. And so yes, congratulations, you've moved up here. You've got the Liberty Championship. That is impressive. But for how long? Because the way I'm seeing it is, I don't see Dakota or Bayley out here right now. Are you sure everything's good with you? And Cora goes, we're fine, okay? Now why don't you shut up and go back to NXT where your bum ass belongs and let the real champion speak, okay? So what do you say, April? Me and you with No Way Out? And AJ goes, look, you're right, you know. I take great pride in seeing how far you've come, just like Bayley. But somebody has to shut you up. And if I've got to be the person to do it at No Way Out, I'll see you there. So there we go. AJ versus Cora Jade. Liberty Championship. No Way Out. Should be a banger. Speaking of bangers, we then see Wardlow in Gorilla. And he's approached by Hit Bro. And he goes, "Sup, big man? Huh? Look at you, you're scowling. You're so mean. You're ready for that match out there tonight. Well, you look no further, buddy. Did you defend that United States Championship in an open challenge? Huh? Did you not listen last week when Hit Bro said they're on tour? And that we had a plan? Well, that plan comes to fruition tonight when we take that United States Championship. And Warden goes, huh. So it's you who I'm facing tonight, huh? And Swerve goes, oh, no. See, wrestling Warden, that's not part of my deal here. He's gonna face you. He points at Riddle, obviously. He goes, bro, but I can't. Want me to fight him, bro? He goes, yes. You remember what I told you, Riddle? You know, if you want Hit Bro to be this thing, then you follow in the leader's commands. And I say, tonight you face Warden for the United States Championship. He goes, but bro, I'm not ready. And then Top Dollar's like, yeah, Swerve, he's not. Does he look ready for action? And he goes, always be ready for action. Okay, it's not my fault if he's not. And then Riddle goes out to the ring for a match with Warden for the US belt. Wrong match. That's later on tonight. All of that hype. But yes, there was a US title match going on later on tonight. Matt Riddle against Warden. But now is the Blue Collar Boys. And I've just noticed the chemistry. I did not set that myself. But I am ecstatic that the Blue Collar Boys have excellent chemistry together. SmackDown's hottest new tag team may have just arrived. And they beat the two Lady Killers men. Otis pins Gregor with the World's Strongest Slam. 54 for Brooks, 72 for Otis, 56 for Gregor, and a 36 for Sid Cottrell. And yeah, big Valentine's Day win for the big Blue Collar Boys. Standing up for their, well, I say their women. The women that they're into. Speaking of Valentine's Day trips to the restaurant, Candice and Johnny's has been delayed. So they're here tonight. And they're just finished. Candice going, you know, it's nice to take a week off. Like, I know the stress of this whole WrestleMania thing, it's really getting to me. Johnny goes, hey, relax, okay? Like, you won the Royal Rumble. Okay, you earned your right to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Simple as that, okay? Now, whether it's Bayley, or Thea Hale, or any of the women in tonight's main event, you overcame pretty much all of them in the Royal Rumble. So, you can beat it. I have faith in you that you're going to leave WrestleMania as the SmackDown Women's Champion. And Candice goes, yeah, there I am. And then Johnny picks up the glass. He's like, to WrestleMania. And then they ding their glasses and take a drink. And then we hear a door fly open. And she goes, ah, there they are. It's the wrestlings. Bayley pulls up a chair and she sits next to Candice. And Candice sort of awkwardly stares at her. And she goes, hi. Hey, Candice. Bayley's still in her gear. She's got a SmackDown Women's title on, I imagine. And she goes, don't know if you've noticed, but I still have this. Okay? I don't know if you thought that stupid rookie, that child, was going to take the championship off me, but I won. And I advise you watch that match back, actually, if you didn't see it. Because it was rather telling for the way WrestleMania is going to go. You know? So you're out here tonight. Lovely day. You know? Great. Johnny, you really spared no expenses here. You know? Candice is a lucky girl. But some things are more important than this, Candice. And if you're going to be facing me at WrestleMania, which you will be, I need you to stop and listen to what I'm going to say to you right here, because I'm never going to say it again. Don't bother. Don't bother showing up. You know how this goes. Think about last year when me and you were tag team partners and I was carrying your ass. Think about that Bayley. That Bayley didn't even really know who she was. But this Bayley, she's the goddamn SmackDown Women's Champion. She's the greatest wrestler here in WWE, male or female. And she's the one who's gonna, your one shot at achieving this dream. Look into my eyes, LeRae. Because you're looking at the person whose face you're gonna see for the rest of your life when you close your eyes. You're gonna see, god damn it, when you're on 60 years old, on your 35th wedding anniversary, whatever it is, you're gonna see me holding the SmackDown Women's Championship up high on the grandest stage of them all, and you remembering that you failed. You let everybody down. You let your husband down. You let your son down. You let your family down. Happy Valentine's Day. And then Bayley gets up and leaves. And Kara's just there like, oh, okay. Well then. We then see Kevin Owens. He's in the doctor's office room place. And Kayla enters and she goes, Kevin, can I get a word? And he goes, yeah. She goes, so, those Paragon numbers game were a bit of a pain in the ass tonight, and how do you think about how that's going to work at No Way Out when you're going to face Adam Cole one-on-one? And he goes, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be... You think it's going to be one-on-one, Kayla? You really think it's going to be one-on-one? Because I thought tonight was going to be one-on-one. I thought I had Bobby Roode one-on-one tonight. I should have known better. Adam Cole, he found fame and fortune here in WWE as part of a four-man stable that wreaked havoc on everybody. Now, because I went off on my own, apparently Cole sees that as me betraying him. Now look, I'm far from a saint in that regard. And quite frankly, I'm paying the price for that right now because I've got to go this alone. Those Fritz brothers, Bobby Roode, Adam Cole, all of them. It's my fight. Nobody wants my back. Nobody should want my back. So, do I think it's going to be one-on-one Adam Cole No Way Out? No. Do I know that puts me at a severe disadvantage? Yes. Am I going to fight for men? Because that's what I do best. And try and come out on top and shut Adam Cole up once and for all? Also, yes. Oh, 87 for this. This is the actual Wardlow versus Matt Riddle US title match. And Matt Riddle, I guess, is out there without the rest of Hit Bro. Which means Warden beats him in 12:09 with a powerbomb to make defense number 11 of the US title. 81 for Warden, 81 for Matt Riddle as well. You know, no storyline really, but I think I said this is a wild brawl. And 12 minutes. Yeah, wild brawl. But yeah, another defense in the books for Wardlow. Whoever that is, I mean Warden. And yeah, he rolls on as the US champion. Long may he reign. How much longer will his reign go? Next week, though, we have a couple of very big matches announced. The first, coming off that announcement earlier on tonight, that Cora Jade and AJ Lee will face off at No Way Out. AJ will team with former NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez in her SmackDown debut, I think. Don't think she's had a one-off appearance before. And they'll take on Damage Control with Cora Jade and Dakota Kai in tag team action. In another big tag match, Cesaro will team with Daniel Bryan to to take on Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams ahead of Daniel Bryan and Carmelo Hayes' match at No Way Out next Sunday. And in the main event of the show, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, battles the Plan B, the right-hand man, the hired gun of WWE Champion Seth freaking Rollins, Solo Sikoa, in what is sure to be a huge main event. Moving on from SmackDown next week, we have No Way Out. And we have 3 matches we need to announce for that show. The first being the match that was confirmed last week. Jimmy and Jey Uso challenge Bronson Reed and Ricochet for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships after the Usos won that Fatal 4-Way match in the main event last week. We also have the big tag team match that was set up on Monday Night Raw. Cody Rhodes will team with Brother Dustin to take on Seth freaking Rollins and Solo Sikoa. If Seth and Solo win, Cody loses his right to wrestle for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 39. And also for the Women's Liberty Championship, Cora Jade battles AJ Lee in. If AJ Lee loses, she will be no longer challenging for any championship here in WWE. Big stakes, big show, just 9 days away. 9 days from tonight, you could say. And an 86 rated main event, which is actually good, considering Ruby is not very popular and Shotzi is capped at like 73. But it is Kairi who picks up the win to get one more shot at Bayley and No Way Out. She defeats Utami, Ruby, and Shotzi 20 minutes, 1 second. Kairi pins Shotzi with the Insane Elbow. 73 for Shotzi Blackheart, 65 for Ruby Riott, an 82 for Utami, and an 82 for Kairi. And yeah, after Bayley retained against Thea Hale earlier on tonight, it will be Bayley once again defending the belt 9 days from tonight against former champion Kairi Sane in, I believe, their second ever singles match, because she won in a triple threat and then they fought a Battleground. So yeah, their second singles match. 91 rated show, which is pretty good. It had the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know. Whatever the Elias segment there was, all of the funny DKE restaurant skits, and yeah, just a whole lot of everything on tonight's SmackDown. But do not forget, we have coming up just next the championship special episode of Velocity. Velocity kicks off with the Cruiserweight Championship singles title match between our good friend Dominic Mysterio and R.E. Sterling. And obviously, Dominic retains. 11:43, he pins R.E. after interference by our good pal Anthony Nese to give Dominic apparently only the second defense of the Cruiserweight title. Seems like he's had it for a while. That seems like a low number. Okay, I guess I'll get to squeeze in one more defense before Mania. But yeah, 71 for Dominic, 67 for R.E. And yeah, Dominic moves on as the champion in the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. But before then, Anthony Nese takes the microphone. And he says, there we see it again. Mysterio still the Cruiserweight champion, still the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling, is Mysterio. Now, I hear the other Mysterio that isn't our friend Dominic here is having a bit of a hard time. I hear he teased hanging it up and he threw that mask in the trash. I say it's about goddamn time. Because there's only one great Mysterio here. And it's not you, Ray. It's Dom. And then Dominic takes him back and he goes, Dad, I'd say, take care if this is the end. But I really don't care if you do. Because all you do good for was paving the way for me to become the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. Thanks, Dad. 79. Kyle O'Reilly is delivering good ratings. And yeah, he beats Gabriel Phelps 13:59 with a brainbuster. 91 for Kyle O'Reilly, 50 for Gabriel Phelps. And yeah, that's just the buffer match before the main event, which will be for the Cruiserweight Trios Championships, because I believed this will score good. I hope that's not bad. 83, so it was the best match on the show. I was right. And in 1826, we have new Cruiserweight Trio champions. Pistolero, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado win when Pistolero pins Thatcher with the Revolution Fly. 72 for Lorcan, 82 for Thatcher, 90 for Gulak, 88 for Pistolero, 81 for Metalik, and 80 for Lince. So overall, on average, I'd say, right decision. Gulak got 90, which was the highest in the match, but yeah, it's only 2 better than Pistolero. But Gran Metalik damaged his shoulder. Vegas injuries like that, I don't really know. That could just be something he could work through for 3 days, or it could keep him out for 2 months. I'll have to get back to you with a Twitter update from somebody once the show's finished. But yeah, we then finished the show with new Cruiserweight Trio champions, Death from Above. The show scores an 81. All greens for Velocity this week. That's a good show. But yes, that is the special championship edition of Velocity over and done with. And we move on to next week's Raw, which isn't the go-home show for No Way Out, because that's not a Raw pay-per-view. But it will feature, the Battle Royal to determine the final participant in the Elimination Chamber match. And a whole lot more. A lot of Intercontinental Championship stuff, actually, I remember. So yeah, see you then.